This video is a B or 12b. I'm continuing with the final edits for the final story for Jesus's truths and teachings. Now, what I would like to make, I guess when I talked last time on the last video about showing you the differences of me me now putting influence on the word on different things, I hope you got a good understanding of what I'm doing there. So what I'm going to do is try to continue in that direction and work with the text from where I left off. This is the main, this is where I left off last time. And you can see I'm just making small changes here. Needed to add those words to make it sound or read smoother. Now here I'm getting rid of a demon who bent her over. Now, there is no demon that bends over. What it is a person continually does not straighten their back to walk upright, causes this bending. It's over time. So this is, with a demon, that's not possible to be actually truthful. So I'm removing the demon. The demon shows the most severe illnesses and unexplained, I can't call them really diseases, but I just know that, say if somebody is deaf, there's a demon holding them from doing this. When they can't explain it, because an illness kills people, where the word demon is popping up a lot is people being possessed by a demon, or an unexplained way our Creator made somebody, and they don't die from that. So understanding that, demon is not truthful enough here at this time, and was straightened up. Now the word priest here, I believe, is because up above is the text where the priest is there. And then when I was reading it, I didn't change it before, so it needed to be changed to this time. It just like here, needed to keep continuing with the word priests, or priests. Okay, let me go back up here, see if it was priests or priest. No, Martha came in. Okay, he was teaching in one of our synagogues. So I guess this would have been, I'm changing the scribe to a priest here. And then Jesus is summing them up as a group of priests here. Okay. I think I need, well, I'm not thinking, I know I needed to add the word secret here. Because if it's hidden, sometimes it can be revealed, but if it's really tightly kept, then it is a secret. So I needed to put the word secret here, that it was never found out by other people, and it's what our Creator is going to know about. Every action that you're actually given is given to you by our Creator. Again, here the word holy is not needed. We know that who we're talking about, and I think I've spelled his name wrong. Yes, should be a Z here. So let me make sure I take this over, put it on the other document. and highlights what I'd done wrong. Now, here they persuaded. I don't think persuaded. I don't think is the right word here. Um, like I said, I'm trying to make this text simple enough. I think you would get the idea by me putting in the word listen to, that it's not going to be convincing. So there's many words that can come out from understanding that they will not listen. Disregard, those type of words I could have put in here, but I thought it would be just simple enough that to understand that it's listen to him. This text was just taken out because I moved it to this area here for this verse. This was not needed. When I looked up the words mustard seed, there's a better story there. And that's why I put this verse with that other story. And you can look it up by this number here. This is not needed in the story because when you're trying to figure out what this verse means, it isn't meaning what the words are about here. And this is Jesus talking about his kingdom. To just say that his kingdom is going to be, when it is fully grown, is larger than any garden plant, which it's actually a tree for those that don't understand what a mustard seed ends up being. Becomes a tree, the birds nest. Well, the only thing is this is an after fact, and that happens as it grows up anyway. These trees become very large. So this is not really, I believe, as truthful to understand just the general meaning of what Jesus is trying to get to. That we all know that there's other parts of the text that Jesus is providing as a place of rest from our enemy. Making it personalized there. Okay, this is a repeat from text above, I believe. So I've removed it. And this was like what I'm trying to talk about when I was cleaning up things, that when I read it, I realized I read it before, so it doesn't need to be in at this one. Just like the mustard seeds text. There, I do check to make sure that the text is not just on some of these, that it's just are repeats that are not really needed. Once they're said, that's better said someplace else. That's what I want left as a true meaning. I don't want two stories conflicting. I know there will be some, but they do have reasons why they're different. Okay, here I meshed it below. I guess I didn't. Oh, I did. It's just right here is where I meshed this. When I read it, I realized that I did not mesh this from before. So this one here, I forgot to do this too. Now, here's these words being put in here, and you can see I didn't really use any one. 34. No, I did use that one and this one here because I highlighted. Oh, I did use more of them here, and then I got rid of Matthew's text. Here, followers comes down to we, and the way I have the capital letter we with it being meaning read for Jesus, this is how I designate that. When this was, like I said, at the beginning of a lot of these verses, to combine them together, the stories combined together, sometimes the very first word is being changed to just mean it's another thing, because than what I've got here. If you were to say the word when or then, it would have been like next in line, but then it's showing action that they had traveled from the last story to this story. Okay, this is the verse that I moved up last time. So, I guess I can't remember where that happened. So I'll move it up. So I need to go here, here, and get rid of that. Okay, I guess when I moved it, I didn't, I'm moving it from someplace else, and I guess I didn't locate it, or I've taken it out of location, just moved the story to here. So you'd have to go back a video to find this, or back a, yeah, I don't, yeah, it would probably been just before 12. It'd be an 11, I believe. Let's see, this was Matthew, so no, you'd have to go and look. Yeah, in 11, Matthew would have it in 11, so you'd be able to tell where I moved it from to this area. This is just continuing who fell to thank him. Let's see, we don't need his disciple because we know who Levi is. Here we have more disciples being added. So the first two disciples or three disciples are here, and this is the story about them. When he says, "Follow me," and they did. Now, this is where he is walking along the shore, and we've got now 7 disciples. And I noticed here that I can show you that I didn't need 2 names for John because John the Baptist is very important. So when you do a search, I want the search now to be only for John the Baptist and not being confused when you pull up the text. So I did change one of the disciples' name. Here is the change that I added here. Now this needed to be removed because the story starts out, if you look at the original text, that it would have been Simon and his disciples looked for him, but that's the story below it. I can't use that here, and I think that's pretty much why he's changed the text before this. I can't remember when I did it to the lake shore. But here's why, is because the lakeshore crowd gathered. So remember, this is the text that's cleaned up and all new edits being put in. I removed that group. That's the mustard seed story from here. I moved it up, and then it wasn't needed. Deceptions to deceits, worldly deceits. There's many deceits in the world. I didn't want to just put it as deceptions. They're pretty much deceits. So, we're supposed to obey our Creator first. Everything else is deceiving oneself. Here is the text that I moved, and like I said, you can trace these by using this verse here, or those noted symbols like you just seen me do a search. Here I'm getting rid of the word chosen here, or holy here, because this is not really a lot to do with yeah, I must have covered this the last video where I moved it up, and then I because the way I have it divided up is different meanings of stories. So yes, I can remember combining this with others. I moved it up above. Maybe, no, wait a second. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just added it. Um, okay. Yeah, I moved it from here. I moved it here, and then, yes, when I combined them, I took some out to, like I said, this would have been a double, but the object is that this text here, well, I moved it above here from somewhere to be added, I believe. I'm thinking that after I combine them, then I brought them up here, but you'll be able to investigate that. Memory doesn't work after about 4 days when I've done that because I've read the text over and over. So I'm trying to do the best by what I can recall. This answer here, I don't know how many times I read it, and I didn't realize that I'm just reading it as the word no, but I needed to change that to no, and then she describes why. And then this here word is to help say that he's now moved on and there's other people or the other people are going to be following him. But he's starting to move away from Lake Galilee. So I'm just saying that when you start looking at um, where he's at, I'm just putting in a descriptive word where he's going here. I got it to be meshed below here, so these verses here okay. In this here group, I will be meshing below as well, and this is the place where I got it. These are reminders that for me that I worked on something and it's done, completed the story. And these here, I don't know why I did it, but I downsized the text. So that's just my different way of editing from a different day. And you can see I'm adding the word perfect teacher here to here. And then I'm able to get rid of this verse because this verse here is better said when combining all those words together. This verse here is better than this here. You can see the more detailed it is. Then these here, this is not really needed, not much of a change. Go sell your extra possessions. I don't think Jesus wanted him to sell everything because Jesus knew he was leaving. So John tells us that's what we're supposed to do. Anything that we have extra of, we are to help those that need these things that we have as extras. We're not supposed to be material. So, the example, people that are wealthy, they need to understand that they don't need to be buying the best of everything in a multiple example. Some people collect cars, okay? I'm not just pointing at them. I'm using them as a reference. But why would somebody own 50 extra cars as a collection and not sell them off and help people that are poor? This world, or the people in the world that I've lived this long and seen this, people just try to hold on to money as I can't give it to somebody else. They just hold it. And this is why when you hear or read the words Jesus says, you can't serve two masters, and yet people are holding on to their wealth and creating more wealth for themselves. And just like, there's a parable that what good are those when it comes down to the day that your death is going to happen and leave this planet. So um, it just seems that um, you really need to pay attention to those words, because I don't have a family, but I know that my way of life causes a lot of people problems. That uh, I'm not worried about a dollar. I really not. I mean, I enjoy the way our Creator has commanded us to help others. Yet I know how much people are shocked by um, example. When I have extra money in my pocket, no matter what the amount is, and somebody comes up to me and asks me because they're in need, I don't think about whether it's right or wrong or should be done. I just give them everything, and then I'm taken care of by our Creator, and I'm trying to um, help that person. But I know the thoughts of that person. I've seen them when I've been far away from them, and seen them rejoicing that they have this um, ease of not having to always beg people or ask from people to help them, that they have this comfort for a while. And you people have to understand, until you've had that feeling, it is better than having possessions. Okay, I'm getting rid of words here. Um, Getting rid of the words here, needing to add the word them when I'm reading this. Uh, Changed it to Judas. Like I said, I'm giving reasons why Judas would betray him. And I needed to add our families here, and then get rid of the word everything, because it's more or less that the family was united more at that time. The Asian people will understand that the family lives together as a unit. And today, that is just not understood a lot of places in the world. Don't need Jesus saying this when he's already saying this. So that's just doubling up. I changed the word foreman to steward to match the other verses. Was saying a steward was assigned to do things. So um, I'm getting rid of the word foreman for sure, because they could have had the word foreman at that time, and I'm sure that would have been, um, but I don't think it would have been the word foreman the way we would understand a foreman today. So I'm using a steward because it's over his household. So uh, here, let me speak to this. This is just not needed. Okay. It's kind of here is where it's being more correct. And now here is the text that were doubled. So I'm getting rid of these two and putting them here. And uh, these two are not disciples anymore, because if you add them up, there's too many. But we do have story of Thomas, and we don't have actually that where he picked up Thomas or these others up to here. So the ones that we know of that are true, and then that we have text that says Jesus told him, found. We don't have the text at what time these two were picked. So other than that, okay, these words I took out and I needed to add them back from the last video 11. Like I said, I'm taking out the word gold just to leave it as silver or copper. Take extra. It was the extra that they had. This is not needed except for the words from them. Trying to think how come I've only got one yellow or one divider here. So it must be these words that I've meshed above or below. Yeah, because I've got 11 here, 11 here. So somewhere this verse here is just left at the end. Yes, because I remember this story. So this is just leaving this text where it is and then being corrected a little bit better. This will end up the ending of that story, and then I'm going to insert a map because this is when he is sending them out to heal people, the disciples. This was a location for me. It was just kind of like a reminder, is the story reading right? And then it's this text will have them meeting in Bethel when they come back together. I'm pretty sure in our creator's hidden formats, the location is different. So, like I said, this text I just didn't want anybody to pick up and then try to correct it. So gaining copyrights, and just like what you see here, it's going to be done many different ways: grouping, single sentences, put into paragraphs, numbers dropped off, this type of thing. So in the end, there will be probably, I think, 4 different ways that this text can be made, because just like me owning the copyrights to the Old Testament, there's a loophole in the law that says if you write it in a different style, you can use the other person's word for word, but put it in a different style. So I'm styling these different copyrights, and then that way nobody can deceive you or change the text that I have been given the knowledge to be able to do all these edits to let you know about Jesus. Here, the rebuke to rejected. Every time I kept reading the word rebuke, I went through all of them, and I think there's only 3 times now that's left the word rebuke here. So rejected is a better word, easier to understand. Changing the location of the text here to here. It now reads better and is more understandable. This Jesus is talking to Peter, so instead of the word him, I wanted to introduce who he's talking to all of a sudden, because this text above, he's talking to the group. Here again, the word rejected. Here's where I combine them. Then I moved to here, and then some of that text that was up above, I moved it here. That's what's going on. And then from here, I added it into this text here, which reads better, and got rid of this doubling of how he says these 3 parables or lessons. It's just that I'm moving this verse here, 18, above 17 for it to read better. So it just didn't read right. Read to me that way. So here I split these verses together, A and B, and split verses and move B to here. 45. I must have decided to move it above 43. Yeah, I'm thinking that's what I did. And then here, this text is this raising his eyes. This has when he looked, we know what he was doing because depending on what you mean by raised your eyes, where was he looking? Because when you know where heaven is located, it's a matter of that much of a distance. But if you're looking at raising your eyes, I didn't want that to be there because don't need Jesus to be looking dumb here. He knew where the North Star is. Here I needed to change this because this date is wrong. Because like I said, when I numbered them, this is not true. So it is now 10. So there's, when you start seeing the dates, that's what I've done here is to make sure that not confused. So he is going to stay in, what is it? Where's he moving to? I'm trying to think. He's at Bethany here. Yes. So, um, I needed to get rid of the text here that I put here because now this does sound like he's raised Lazarus, and now the priest had said to one another. So it's not like weeks ago that this happened. When you're meshing the stories together, I'm thinking about it more clearly, so got rid of that. This needs to be added to complete the sentence. Added the word and. Got rid of the word it to a cult, and then down here I to put the word cult, and I made it an it. So I'm just making sure that they brought the cult to Jesus and with a blanket on it. Us, that's pretty easy to see. Needed to add the word highest because now we are getting closer to Jerusalem. So that needs to be put in. I forgot it in the last video. Here, when I kept reading this, he's also got to be able to say to be hire me because he wants to go back and work for his father. So when you understand this story, it's our teaching. It is the one who repents, who thinks about it, and then comes back to our Creator. This is the story of this, what did I say, a steward. I was using the word steward. So these are steward taking this and he's thinking here and he's saying they'll take me into their home. Not receive. The word receive is going to be tied to receiving someone, a wife, to be married with them. So this is the word receive here, and it's not like the secular term receive. So I needed to make sure that I did this by take and not receive. I changed this as what is in the courtyard because when you know how large the courtroom is, um, you wouldn't be having, you have to have this as a marketplace, but oxen are too hard to control, too big. They're taking up a lot of room. And if you notice, it's only rams and doves. Well, that's why I added other things. Say that they've got cloths there for sale. Some have made hides for people to buy new clothing or shoes or sandals. So by just saying, because doves, these were a food source. So these two here are food sources. This is a work animal. So it's too expensive if you don't want to sell them unless you're um, in need of producing a farm. And someone would not be just bringing in an oxen to sell. That word would have got out to the other people because it's a limited amount of people who could afford that. So when we have rams and doves, you can see these are going to be more or less like smaller animals to eat. And then when I got other things, this is to combine other food sources, or because there would have been fish they could have been selling, smoked or dried, just dried. But there would have been other products there. So I got produce, kind of meaning the vegetable part type of thing, and then I got other things. I didn't want to put down other merchandise, but maybe it should have been there. But I'm thinking just right now the word things is working okay for this. Here I moved the text here, and I had to change it to his crowd, not just them, because the story is about people together. He's teaching. And this here, I meshed upwards, and these would have been something you can follow. This is where they were at and placed them up. You're seeing on the screen this little red. Well, that's me not going through here and realizing I gotta do this no markup and get rid of that. Sorry about that. That doesn't show up in the PDFs, but I don't know how many times it was showing up in these videos. I keep forgetting to do that. And this is him, Jesus more definitely telling them that you're no longer the teachers. I'm the one who now teaches them. Because once Jesus's kingdom is established, there is no longer anyone who can tell you that your sin is forgiven. Okay. The priests today are just mocking Jesus and using this authority because you don't know the truths about them, that they've been deceiving, and they've been deceiving people for 2,000 years, and people are absolutely not studying the text, not paying attention. They don't live the rules that our Creator has commanded us to live by. So these people, even my own family, have been deceived by them. And when I tell them these things, they still think the damn Pope is somebody that's special. I know he's sitting and meditating, having sex with a female goddess, but it's so brainwashed, and they aren't released from this because they don't do what our Creator obeys. The more you obey our Creator, the more he is going to reveal the true truths about him. So when I actually found out years ago how bad the text is filled with crap, it was very disappointing to me to see that how could that happen? But it's actually fulfilling Jesus's prophecy and telling us that when you read the text below, that they're doing it for their God and goddess. Now, I know I've added the word goddess, but it's talking about their God, but um, their God doesn't show up as uh, when they're meditating. It's the female goddess. Here I'm changing the word to elders to include them more, because Yeah, we must be in Jerusalem here. Yeah, I'm thinking we're in Jerusalem. Yes. This here I needed to add just to complete this. I just don't want to be left hung out there for people to have the impression to make these words other than what they are. Needed to make those changes, and I need to call an end on this because this is now getting to verse or 40 minutes long, and I need to stop, and I will find a place where I can start up here. I'll start here.